This is the difference between a piece of paper and steel. If you have not learned by now, you will soon enough. This book is just so exceptionally competent. I feel like competent is too often sort of a backhanded compliment. Like we expect more than competence, especially for readers, for genre readers, readers of fantasy, readers of science fiction. I think we're always looking for that different sort of thing. And my experience of The Justice of Kings was I didn't really see any ideas that I didn't feel like I'd seen before, one place or another. But it was just so well executed. The prose disappears. This is the sort of book that you get engrossed in. You don't think about what words are on the page, what words you're reading. It's just data is streaming directly into your brain, and your brain is performing the play of the book. It's performing the movie, the experience. It's all there in your imagination, fed to you. Yes, technically through the words, but you're not even seeing those words. That's how engrossed you get in this book. There's a lot of different things happening. For a book that I said I don't think it really has any particularly new ideas. There's a lot going on. There is a murder mystery. There is a giant fantasy empire that is maybe not as sturdy as it seemed at the beginning. There's a lot of legal matters. Not the main character. Well, perhaps the main character, but not the perspective character, is a justice of the emperor. And he goes around to villages sort of on the fringe of the empire, bringing the law, bringing the justice to them where there aren't as well-established court systems, for example. There's some brutal fantasy violence, but not too much. There's moments of horror that were incredibly well executed. Like I said, this book, it occasionally veers slightly off of that mainstream fantasy genre. Like I said, there's murder mystery. There's certainly like legal procedural elements in there. There's violence. There's horror. But every single aspect is just so well executed. It's just clean writing, and it works. It tells the story. It makes you care about the characters. It makes you believe in the world and believe in the characters. Now that is one thing that I think is not just competent. Even higher than excellent is not what the world building is, but how the world is conveyed. Too many authors, very clunky, like, I have this very ignorant character who is stuck here to ask all the questions so that the reader can understand the world. And we have some ignorant characters. We have a variety of characters who don't know things about the world and need things explained to them. But it's all completely believable. It's never info dumped on you. It's never just like a wall of text describing the history of the empire. It's always delivered to you in an organic and believable and appropriate manner. The world delivery, the world building delivery, if writers can take away one thing from this book, that is the thing I would say that you need to read the Justice of Kings for that aspect. But honestly, there's so much going on here. It's just so clean. It's just so damn clean. Now I am going to respond to a few of the comments on the backside of the book because I don't know where these, who are these particular people or magazines or reviewers or whatever, and like they have to review a lot of stuff, so we forgive them a little bit, but I'm going to disagree with some of them a little bit. One that gets me a little is a marvelously detailed world with an engrossing adventure from a unique perspective. Like, the perspective is not from the Justice. It's from his assistant clerk, who's a lady. Are they saying it's a unique perspective because it's from a lady's perspective? I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into that one. I'm not sure. Even that aspect, I feel, is not that unique. It's simply that we're not getting the sort of maybe obvious big guy's perspective. We're getting her perspective instead. But I think this is even has precedent in the world, and it's not that surprising. That was actually the only accolade on the back of the book that I felt I needed to respond to. I thought that there was another one saying that, like, oh, there's just all these unique elements, but it was actually that one. I personally didn't feel like there were a lot of super unique elements. In fact, I thought that a lot of tropes were used. And there's nothing wrong with tropes. There's nothing wrong with just writing your story. And especially if you are this skillful as a writer, just saying, like, you know what? I want to tell my straight down the middle of the road murder mystery fantasy, and I'm going to do it. Hell, if it's this good, I am on board. The Justice of Kings is the first of a trilogy. I certainly plan on reading the next two in it, and I recommend it.